Tomorrow's headlines today. What's going to be the headline? Bears at the Detroit Lions tomorrow.
So I thought this was a slam dunk. Instantly love one side. And Colin, within the last hour, look at this line. It's down to 9.5. Who are these people betting on the Bears? The headline will be, you ain't seen stuffing yet. Bears get casserole. Look at my man, Jared Goff. I got a lot of notes here, Colin. But the number one thing is, remember, the number one seed in the NFC is huge this year. Detroit indoors or Philadelphia outdoors. I think that would be a huge advantage for Philly. So Detroit's got to keep winning. They keep their foot on the gas. You know, something like the Chiefs, they're known to take their foot off the gas, maybe run a little more. Detroit, they don't hold back. They're putting 50 burgers on you. And I do believe that there is something to this whole, man, Dan Campbell and Jared Goff haven't won together on Thanksgiving. Goff looking for a redemption after last year's game against the Packers. And I think they kind of put it on Caleb Williams here. Now, one interesting subplot is Caleb Williams has done great against zone defense this year. Against man, I'm sorry, the opposite. He's dominated man, struggled against zone. Well, the Lions are tinkering. They've been switching since Aiden Hutchinson. So I think there'll be a little surprise for Caleb Williams. Is it going to be man? Are they going to do zone? And I think Detroit kind of hammers them here. I think they lower the boom 35-13-ish, Lions.
I don't disagree. Tomorrow's headlines today. Dolphins at the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, cold weather, check. Outdoors, check. Things are lining up for one side. The headline will be packaroni and cheese. Fins, just a side dish. Listen, I know everybody thinks, Green Bay's going to walk over. This could be competitive. Green Bay they have not been the team we thought they'd be, right? We thought maybe Super Bowl sleeper from the Packers, and they've kind of just sleptwalked through the season, up and down a little bit. But Miami has turned it around the last 3 weeks since Tua got back. Let's go over them. They beat the Rams out here in L.A. That was a mysterious game. The Rams were just clunky. Yeah. And then they beat the Raiders, and they beat the Patriots. So they're beating a couple bad teams, and the Rams are under 500. So is that impressive from Miami? I think Green Bay is in a spot where they think maybe if the Lions slip up, could we catch them? And that's why, compounded with the weather and Tua's struggles in cold that we know, I like the Packers here. Now, it's 3, but at 3.5, I don't know. That hook is dangerous. Yeah. But we both, I think the Packers, Jordan Love, remember, popped last year on Thanksgiving. Now, this is a night game and probably, 30 million people watching? Jordan Love, I think he's back, baby.
Tomorrow's headlines today. Raiders-Chiefs. Raiders kind of look beat up and exhausted and not ready to compete.
My worst pick of the year last year was the Chiefs on Christmas Day against the Raiders, where the Raiders beat them. Let's see what happens on Black Friday. The headline will be Sack Friday sales. Raiders flattened when doors open. The Raiders just announced here in the last 10 minutes that Aiden O'Connell will be starting. The mighty Aiden O'Connell coming off the injury. He's going to be starting, and I checked the temperatures. We're in the 30s on Black Friday. Aiden O'Connell going outdoors.
Immobile Aiden O'Connell.
Yes, and Kansas City gets back my main man, Isaiah Pacheco, one of my favorite running backs in the league. Colin, listen, he has another dimension to this offense because he catches passes out of the backfield. Kareem Hunt, he was okay at that, but he's a little older. I don't see it with the Raiders. They're starting, I think, Amir Abdullah. What is he, like 37 at running back? Not a lot of options for the Raiders. I like the Chiefs here big.
This is an interesting one next. Tomorrow's headlines today. Seattle looked great. Now they go to Aaron and the Jets, who are swimming in nonsense.
Yeah.
What say you? It's on Fox.
I noticed you kind of laid off a little bit of the Aaron Rodgers because there's a lot of noise this week. It's almost like you're over it. You're kind of sick of him. The headline will be cranberried. Jets get lost in the sauce. Listen, I'm a Jets guy. You guys know that. I think this is the first time I've picked against them, maybe all season. You followed this story. Aaron Rodgers just keeps talking. This is the guy who in the offseason was like, hey, we want to keep it on football, keep that crap out of the building. He's doing interviews all the time. Well, I don't know if I'm going to play next year. If I do play, it's probably with the Jets. This is all we've heard for the Jets in the last 2 weeks. And it's like, dude, what are we doing here? The defense has clearly quit on Ulbrich. They're not really tackling well. And now you got a Seahawks team that's starting to peak. They put Arizona down pretty well last week after the win over San Fran. And I talked about it. They're going with the single high safety, taking away the run. You take away Breece Hall, and now Aaron Rodgers has to beat those tough corners, Witherspoon, the other guy whose name I'm spacing on who's incredible. I don't see how the Jets compete here. Would not surprise me if this were 28 11 and the Jets got embarrassed and the stuff swirling around Rodgers is not good, Colin. I think the Seahawks live to win that NFC West division.
Finally. Tomorrow's headlines today. Texans, Jaguars in Jayville. This screams J-Mac. You love those AFC South, NFC South battles.
I also enjoy our discussions about who's the next Jaguars coach. That's fun. But for this one, the headline will be Happy Thanksgiving. Jags grateful for picks. Yeah, I'm on Houston here. Houston has lost 3 of 4. They did beat Dallas.
Yeah.
But and I noted it last week when I liked the Titans. So they had 3 primetime games in a row. It was the Jets, the Lions, and the Cowboys. It's a lot of primetime games are totally different than Sunday 1 p.m. So then it was a little come down for the Titans. I see a big bounce back here. So C.J. Stroud will absolutely eviscerate zone defenses.
Yes.
And in the earlier meeting against Jacksonville, 345 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. He didn't have Mixon. Mixon's now back, and Mixon's off his worst game of the season, 22 yards against the Titans. We know Stroud's offensive line's been bad, Colin. I like to look at pressure rates. Jags ranked 31st in the league in pressure rate. They do not get at the quarterback. Stroud's going to have a clean pocket. Laramie Tunsil, no penalties. I think Houston says, guys, we're not bad. We are a team. We can get this going. And I think the Texans kind of claw back and beat down a bad Jacksonville.
That was my second favorite.